don't question God. And I tell people, if you question your pastor and he tell you don't question God, look at him and tell him, you ain't God. I'm questioning you. Because if people are financially supporting these organizations, they should have the right to question these preachers about anything and everything.
Okay, now you heard them. Anyway, let's look at some facts of what we are discussing today. Over time, if you have watched me on social media for over 2-3 years, I accept the fact that I've made videos more about things going on in the church than things going on in politics or things happening in society. If you go through the page yourself, you could just click out of this video, scroll down the page. You see that there are other videos right here on the platform that is aside church. But for some reason, I'm like, why is it that is when I get to talk about things happening or the gimmicks that happen in church and the lies that pastors tell and the prophet lies and story lies they tell and get to expose what is obvious that people will not see because they don't pay attention to details, that is when I get more eyes on my platform. So I see some form of hypocrisy that when the people themselves say, hey, George, stop talking about pastors, talk about things happening in government or things happening in the society, I don't get to see the same eyes watching the videos. But of course, I'll keep mixing up everything I'm doing so that different audience can have different things they want. So back to the main subject of today's video. What Pastor Olumide will be sharing in this video is something that I have discussed here many times. I've shown you examples, I've shown you proofs. But right now we are going to listen to a pastor share his own story. You know, we have heard stories. I have analyzed stories here. And now we are more of like in the this is super story. But what he's saying right here is quite believable because I've done analysis upon analysis and examples upon examples of these things like this. So let the pastor himself tell you the story of what happens in ministry. So if you don't believe George when I get to expose your purpose, maybe you would believe him. Let's watch this video together.
Many of you don't have any idea what we go through as ministers. As we travel around the world, you have no idea the kind of things that some of these pastors do and the kind of things that we see on the field as we travel around. You have no idea. When pastors ask, sometimes when some people are talking, you are asking yourself, is this guy really a pastor? How did I find myself here? Hello? How did I find myself here? Years ago, I went to minister in a church in New York. And me, I was just talking. I did not know that the pastor was married. The pastor was married as a child, and as a child with another side chick that was also in church. And then there is another new single girl that is already sleeping with me. I didn't know. And then this.
Now, you see the story he's telling. If you remember the video we made about the person of Pastor Tunde Bakari, he shared this type of story of a pastor that is married to more than one wife. He was preaching that day and 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 was under his tutelage. If you don't remember the video, I'll link it in the pinned comment if you're watching me on YouTube. If you're watching me on Facebook, search through the comments. You'll see my comments where I pinned the video because I've seen a similar story. I'm not saying that both of them are saying the same thing, but it is possible that there are pastors who run churches that are married to more than one wife. In fact, that are having baby mamas here and there, and are having, do you want me to go deeper into what you have discussed in the past? But let's focus on the future because you know some of them we have talked about here. Let's go on.
Single girl has now said that she's no more doing, that she wants to stop the relationship and stop the affair and all those stuff. Me, I didn't know that. Because the pastor did not know that I operated in the prophet. They just brought me as but me, I didn't plan. It's not a prophetic meeting. It was a finance something. But as I was ministering and talking, I walked up to the supposed girlfriend, not the third one or the second one that has a child for him. And now I said, my sister, I don't know who you are. I don't know what it is, but there's a relationship you are involved in that has tied you down. And God said, I should tell you that you are afraid that if you get out, you may not be able to take care of yourself. I don't know the details, but God said I should tell you that you should break free from that because that is tying you down. And as I was going, I came back and I said, as a matter of fact, it's with a married man. So I went on to speak. So I didn't know anything. that I have caused trouble. But now you have not yet the bad. That one is the bad issue is that now listen, you will have thought that will bring conviction and make somebody to change. The man of God now came to see me and said, man of God, that I didn't know that you are a prophet. I say I'm not. He said, but you see that thing you said, that that lady is actually my baby mama. I said, baby mama. I say, I don't understand. I thought that was, I said, that's my wife, that because this one that I'm saying she should stop now. That is the one that now revealed to me by himself that there's actually one other sister. But that one now says she's not doing again. So when I come for the next session, I should now prophesy to that one. True life story. And tell that one that decision you are about to make to break away, don't break it. True life story. Hello? Ask me what happened in the next session. There was no next session. I called the person that connected me to him and told him what happened, and I said, sorry, I don't relate with this kind of people. If I knew, I would not have been there at all. I would not have been there at all.
Good. So listening to this particular testimony reminds us of what we have looked at before in our previous video when it comes to associations. Always remember my keywords when I always discuss these things. Relevance by association, the power of attention that brings currency. Very, very important. I apply these principles myself, and I'm telling it to you on plain sight because I'm not a pushy kind of person. I tell you things, and if you watch me closely, you see the clues. This right here is his personal experience, his story. Whether you like it or not, pastors themselves, they know the truth. Some of you are watching me now. You are watching me now. Some of you are likely even doing worse than he's saying. For you to be a pastor, for you to lead a church, even the Bible itself gets to give standards for those of them who call themselves leaders. For me, I'm not when I get to discuss these things, these are things they put out. And what he's saying is quite believable because it happens. Sometimes guest ministers are being trained and briefed on how they are going to siphon money or get money from their host's audience, because maybe the host audience are too familiar with their pastor that they have to bring someone from outside to milk them. We have seen videos like that. For example, look at this gospel artist and what story she had to tell.
Yeah.
And then they invited me to this church, and then fine, a lot of people were there.
Yeah.
It's like the whole place was there. And then they called me in the office. The people that invited me said, look, woman of God? Said, yes, Pastor. I said, so these people, all of these people, they came to see. Please, even sick people are here. They know if you lay hands on them, they'll be healed. So we want you to tell these people, because me as the pastor of the church, if I tell them to give money, they don't give.
Oh, no.
Tell them to pay from $100 upwards, and you will pray for them, and they will be healed. I said, this is a big betrayal of God.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. Then we had to, they canceled my ticket. We had to run to the embassy, the South African embassy now for help.
What?
So there are those things that we come across sometimes when we are invited, because not everybody is a man of God, eh?
No.
So we come across those.
Well, I'm not surprised you have a story like that.
Yeah.
So you find...
Some they come. Where do you get this power?
So they say you have powers.
I said, please take me there. There was a pastor I told, I said, don't you know powers come from God, Pastor?
They all come from the same place.
So it's a shame sometimes. People must read the Bible.
Yeah.
People, take the Bible and read it for yourself. Yeah, don't go there and want somebody to read it for you, because sometimes people are misleading people.
Interesting, exactly that
people must read the Bible.
Be careful.
We don't say they must not go to church.
Yeah.
But once you read the Bible and know God, have a personal relationship with God yourself, you will know which one is the right one.
You don't need
you don't need somebody to tell you,
middleman.
I'm here to prophesy you. God says you must give me the money. People, they pray for prayer. They pay for prayers today.
Now, if you listen to that clearly, many gospel ministers might be going through this situation. But you, the audience, you that are members of the church, do not know these things. You do not know. Come on. You don't know what happens behind the scenes before the programming and then what gets to happen right on the screen there, or what I say while you are there in church. A lot of things go on behind the scenes before the mega presentation. Come on. When I get to expose the fake miracle money and the fake credit scores and the fake miracles that happen, I don't even know what happened behind the scenes, but I'm looking at a video and I'm showing you what is going on. How come you don't get to see it with all your spiritual antenna? Have you asked yourself that question? But what I'm doing is purely sensual. It's not about being spiritual or something. But if you watch closely, you see that what I'm telling you is the truth and nothing but the truth. What he got to share right here is indeed quite true, because I've seen examples of that. But when you look at the fact that someone that knows him and trusts him connected him to someone else he went to preach, that means he does not even know the person he's going to preach at. But listen, the person that likely connected him to that person that he went to preach must also have a familiarity with the person he went to preach at his place. So the question is right now, what made the host pastor so bold enough to go to him to even try to liaise with him on that ground of what he should say and what he should prophesy? That's the question you have to think about, because like they say, birds of the same feather do what? But I like the point he made there towards the end, that was the end of his particular session, because he cannot find himself associating with that kind of a person. But the question is, the person that connected you to this event, based on this story, how is his relationship with the person he connected you to? Was it just like a gig, like how musicians get a gig and they go somewhere to go and play? For musicians, it's more of like a worldly thing, so they don't matter. What matters is the money that is coming. You as a pastor, what matters to you? Is it about the honorarium that is coming? I wouldn't think maybe for him it was about honorarium. Maybe he was going there to do the actual work of God, but noticed something different and he had to pull out. So pastors that might be basing your ministries based on invitations, exposure, going to this country, going to this country. When you go there, what do? The sheep themselves should not become a tool for you to judge. They're supposed to be fed. They're supposed to be led right. I'm not here as the one being your police or your FBI. It is the videos he put out there that I break down. So pastors watching me, Christians watching me, start using your head. A lot of things are happening in the body of Christ. Nobody will talk about it, because if you dare question your pastor, they will tell you, how dare you question God?
Nobody on this earth has ever been given the right to be the captain and the FBI of the church. This is someone who has never done anything, sitting like this in a chair, analyzing. And you can read the comments. Yes, you are right. I like the way you're doing it.